What's up, everybody? Kinetic here, and welcome back to The Division. I've got a very powerful update for you guys on the whole war on crafting, as I called it in the most recent video. If you haven't watched that, or if you don't know what's going on with crafting, in short, the changes that they're making in patch 1.1 will mean that it will take far more materials to convert up to a high-end material, and they're also reducing the number of materials that you will get from deconstruction, which is a really significant deal because at this time, before the patch is coming out, the most powerful way to get your high-end items, to get geared out and ready for challenge missions, for example, and the upcoming incursions and all that new content is through crafting. Unfortunately, crafting has been the central point of progression in the Division. And just like everybody has been saying, just like everything that I've been saying, is that crafting needs to be put in the back, right, of people's minds, and there needs to be higher drop rates, there needs to be more powerful loot, and, you know, make hunting bosses the means of getting geared up, right, and make incursions and challenge missions, give us better loot and things like that. Well, our prayers are answered, actually. Whether this was a reaction to the community's reaction to the patch notes, or whether this was intended all along. Get this, guys. They are raising the drop rate of high-end items from named enemies in the Division to 100%. That's right. Guaranteed high-end items are now going to drop from named enemies in the Division. And this just throws all kinds of crazy potential in PvE and PvP situations for having a 100% chance of getting a high end to drop from named enemies. And that's just one part of what they're saying here in this post, but that's probably, and it just makes total sense because, like I was saying, and to everybody since we've seen these patch notes now, it doesn't make sense why they would be doing what they're doing to crafting unless there was some other kind of counterbalance to that. It doesn't make sense to kill crafting like that unless there are better drops or more materials or something coming from somewhere. And sure enough, here they are telling us there's going to be a 100% drop rate. Now, my only regret about this whole situation is that they didn't say this in the first place. Why this explanation was not put above the patch notes on the same page is beyond me. I have no idea why. But this needs to be done from this point forward, and I'm pretty sure that they know that these kinds of explanations need to be put out there at the same time if they're going to be putting out patch notes, especially if they're going to be making changes like the changes that they're making to crafting. Here's another note that they added, which I think is interesting to the coming update. It says here, to make sure that crafting remains a viable alternative, we will also increase drop rates of Division Tech materials to 40% on level 32 named enemies in the Dark Zone. So now, combining this with what we already know about patch 1.1, it's safe to say, I think, that Division Tech is not nearly going to be as much of a source of frustration here in the Division as it currently is once this patch comes out. With the removal of the Division Tech requirements and increased drop rates on Division Tech, yes, you will still need it, and you'll probably still need to hunt for it, but it's not going to be as big of an issue by far. Another note to kind of further explain why they did exactly what they did to crafting changes. It says here, quote, by changing the conversion rates, we will encourage players to use their low-level materials while they are leveling up instead of saving them until they reach level 30. It will also bring more decision making between selling and deconstruction of low-quality items, end quote. And that is actually a really good point because we already know that they are removing the Phoenix credit requirements to purchase blueprints and instead are replacing that with regular credits. Same with any other pre-made items that the special vendor will be selling back at base of operations. And this holds true as well for the Dark Zone. They are not going to require Phoenix credits there either for any items or for blueprints. It's going to require the Dark Zone credits over there. So less stress about Division Tech, less stress about high-end items, less stress about Phoenix credits for purchasing and for recalibrating, right? Now we will actually need to, like it says here, make more decisions based on, well, do I need more materials? Do I want to deconstruct this item to get some materials? Or do I want to build up my credit pool so that way I can buy more items and buy more blueprints as they're coming out and things like that? So after reading this post, I'm extremely relieved and excited more than ever now, actually, for the patch coming up in April 12th. This is going to mean so many great things. This is going to push crafting into the corner of people's minds as the means of progression here in this game, and put focusing on killing bosses, doing challenge missions, incursions, supply drops, and stuff like that in the center of people's minds, and make playing the game rewarding. I hope you guys are just as excited to hear about this news as I am, because this is exactly the right direction that the Division needs to be heading to. Having said that, if you would like to read this post for yourself, I'll have a link to it down in the description of this video, and I definitely want to hear your comments and what are your thoughts about crafting. Do you still think that it's a bit too heavy-handed on the changes to crafting, or does now the changes to drop rates and division tech and stuff like that completely balance it out in your minds? Let me know what your thoughts are down in the comment section below. Click the like button to support these Division videos here on my channel. I've got more news, more updates, more gameplay, builds, and all that stuff right here, so make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss the next video. Thanks again for watching. My name is Kinetic, and I'll see you next time.